What about, I'd love to just have you share about the collective programming. The collective program, we're all one. We know this concept of being all one. And then there is this great collective programming that is basically creating this sort of, which we can call destructive paradigm. So how do you see that changing?
So it's a huge question, but just to address one aspect of it for now, what I would say is our collective programming comes, of course, from the culture, from societies, because now we're not talking about our individual parents, our individual fifth grade teacher who told us we were worthless and stupid, but the society, the culture. And what's happening today, which is so, so tragic, and yet the moment we're aware of it, we actually have the ability to change it. In fact, the awareness changes it automatically, is a myth of scarcity, a myth of less than wholeness. And here's what it looks like. So every day we watch TV, we go online where we see advertisements, we read magazines, we see billboards. Whatever it is, we are inundated with thousands and thousands and thousands, I don't know the statistics, but I'm sure it's enormous, numbers of different advertisements every day, whether on our phones, on our computer screens, on our billboards, on TV commercials. Now, those advertisements, this is just marketing, it's fully legal, there's nothing really, really super insidious about it. Companies are just trying to sell you something. Whether they're trying to sell you a pair of jeans, or dishwashing soap, or a mobile phone, the only way for them to sell you something is to first convince you that there is a lack in your life that their product will fill. Basic psychology of marketing. I cannot sell you something if you are already living in a state of awareness of your fullness and your wholeness and your completion. Because then you know, well, I don't need that brand of jeans or these shoes or that type of mobile or to switch to that type of soap in order to live a life that looks as good as the people in the commercial. So first we have to convince you that there's something lacking. And if you look for a moment just at how this works, let's say that I'm trying to sell soap. So what soap really does is cleans us. It's a perfect necessity, no problem with soap. But if I were trying to sell soap honestly, we would talk about which brand of soap cleans how many parts per million of bacteria compared to a different brand, or how quickly it washes off your skin. But that's not what commercials for soap look like. They look like beautiful people who are lathering up while they're singing in the shower in the morning, and then their beautiful spouses come into the bathroom also singing, and then they walk out. And their beautiful child has gotten out of bed and dressed himself and done his homework and had his breakfast. And now this beautiful family walks out of the house together, hand in hand, and you just see a little thing that says Dove or Zest. Now, we're not talking cleanliness. We're selling happy families. And what the subconscious programming message is, if you don't feel like singing in the shower in the morning, if your spouse doesn't come in singing in the shower, or you don't have a spouse, or you've got to drag your kid out of bed in the morning and force him to take a shower and force him to do his homework, or you don't have a kid, well, the problem is you're using the wrong brand of soap. And again, from a marketing perspective, this is legal. There's nothing super, super wrong. This is why marketers spend billions of dollars on ad campaigns. But now look at what's happening to our subconscious. Thousands of times every day, different companies are first convincing me that there is something lacking in my life. Now, I can't buy everything. I can't switch brands of soap for every commercial I see. I can't take every vacation to every resort, drive every model car, which means that even if I do what I'm supposed to do in the advertisement, I can't do all of it. So I'm left with a pervasive, subconscious experience of there being something lacking in my life, that if I just had the money or the time to actually buy it all, I could solve all those problems. And this, I think, is one of the most tragic, damaging, and insidious aspects of cultural brainwashing that is going on today. It's being used, of course, by politicians as well. Every problem you're facing, if you vote for me, I'll solve it. So wherever we turn, what we're being inundated with is the message that something is wrong in your life. Something is lacking. You may think you're happy, but let me show you what's lacking. And I've paid someone billions of dollars to put together this ad campaign because I've got to sell you my product. So you can be pretty sure that it's going to be effective and it's going to work. So now we're moving through the world with this sense of something lacking. And at some point, in a spiritual practice, in a yoga practice, whatever it is, we realize, oh my God, I cannot keep changing brands of soap. I cannot keep buying things to bring happiness. So we stop doing that. But we're still left with that subconscious programming that says there's something wrong. And along with that goes the other campaign, which is you're running out of time. 24 hours left of this sale. There's only 2 tickets left. How many of you have gone online to buy something that you're just contemplating maybe buying, and you see it says 1 left at this price, 2 left at this price. 85 other people are looking at this website right now, planning to buy this thing you're looking at. So what we have been programmed into culturally today is, you're not enough. There is something wrong. It comes from outside of you, and you're running out of time to get it. And this, I think, is really the most problematic and dis-ease causing programming that we're all facing today. And really the only way to come out of it is consciousness. It's to be aware, wait, I am whole, I am complete. These people are just doing what they were hired to do. They're trying to sell soap, fine, let them do their thing. But I don't have to give them my subconscious. I don't have to give them my heart. I don't have to feel badly about myself just because Zest is trying to sell Zest and Dove is trying to sell Dove. There's nothing wrong with my family. But we have to be absolutely and acutely aware and conscious every moment.
Again, Sadhvi brought up the very important fact that people play on our fears. People play on our concerns. And why I want to bring a little extension to exactly what she said is that, well, in our mind, we start to realize that we're concerned, we're afraid, we don't have enough, I'm not safe, I'm not secure. And I say, oh, these thoughts, I was talking about the thoughts in your mind, go in and control your biology, your genetics, your physiology, and your health. And I go, yes, this is really true. I said, well, how can I tell you what your thoughts are in a sense that can I read your thoughts? And I say, yes, I could put wires on your head, and it's called electroencephalograph, and I could read your brain activity. And I go, oh, great, I can see this brain activity. I want to tell you something that's profoundly important. We were programmed to believe that our thoughts are contained in our head. That if I have a thought, it's just for me, not for anybody else. It's inside, and it's working through me. And now I want to tell you about a new technology. It's not electroencephalograph. It's called magnetoencephalograph. I say, what's unique about that? I say, it reads your brain. I say, yeah, but so does EEG. I say, yeah, but EEG, you put the wires on the head, and you get the electrical activity conducted through the skin from the brain, and that's what I'm reading. And I say, what's different about MEG? The probe is out here. And I said, what does that mean? Your thoughts are not contained in your head. Your thoughts are broadcast to the field just like a radio broadcast. I said, well, what if I, as an individual, have a thought that says, let's have peace in the world? And I broadcast out there in the street and I say, let's have peace. And I look around, it's like, where's the peace? I don't see the peace. And here's what the relevance is. Each of us is broadcasting. If you get enough people to have the same thought, that broadcast is amplified. Each of us has a small power, but if you put 1,000 people with the same thought, 10,000, 100,000 people with the same thought, you are broadcasting a most powerful thought, not just in your body, but out in the field. I say, your energy is in the field, the thought is in the field. And you go, well, what does that mean? And then I'll give you this most wonderful quote. I used it the other day in a lecture from Albert Einstein. And the quote is so important. Here's the quote. The field, so a definition, the field is the invisible energy. Right now you're in a field, there's cell phone broadcasts, television, radio broadcasts, all kinds of information coming across, but guess what? Each one of you is a broadcast in that field. The quote, the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. Particle is the material realm. So what was Einstein saying? It's the energy in the field that shapes the physical experience of our lives. And if enough of us collectively have an energy that's coherent and strong, and we broadcast the belief, we change the world. I just want you to recognize, as much as I wanted peace in the world, if not enough people are out there saying, let's have peace in the world, there is no peace. If I want to say, let's have a war, how can you have a war? You have to have enough people convinced that the war is going to benefit them so that their broadcasts say, yes, let's have a war because I and my colleagues, we're all going to have a better result from that. And the reality is this, the only things that change on this planet collectively are when we collectively share thoughts. And yoga, when you're in your postures, when you're in your process, your mind is sharing a thought, not just in your head, but all around you. So the whole idea about this is we have to recognize we are collectively creating reality with our thoughts. And if we want to change reality, it can change instantly. The moment we become coherent, the moment we collectively are on the same platform of thinking. You get enough people to say peace, there will be peace instantly in this world. But we've been programmed by other people to give them the power to tell us what we need. And as Sadhvi has been telling us so importantly, what we need is not what they tell us, what we need is what we know. And I really hope that you understand this, because when you have your thoughts, recognize it's not contained in your head, your thoughts out in the field. And that thought, the field, is the sole governing agency of matter. And therefore, what this world is looking for at this moment is an evolution. It's not an evolution of our biology. Our biology is already evolved. It's an evolution of our consciousness. When we collectively as a population say enough is enough, it will end. And when we say to our Mother Ganga and we say to the nature that we're living in, we're sorry, we have been destroying you, but now we are here to help, this planet will be restored in what is called a spontaneous remission. A spontaneous remission, a person could be dying of cancer and everybody's looking around, and all of a sudden the patient changes their belief and says, I'm not doing this, I'm doing something different. And guess what? How fast does it take that thought to change your cancer into peace again? It's called spontaneous remission. It will spontaneously change the planet. We are experiencing the groundswell of an evolution. And every one of you is a most important contributor to that evolution. Because when you recognize your thoughts are creating this, and we collectively agree that this is not what we want is a garden that we were given, the garden will instantly, spontaneously reappear. So our evolution is not waiting for something to happen. Our evolution is each one of us is a participant. It's not sit in your seat and wait for the evolution, look out your window. No, we are making evolution. So look at yourself as a powerful force, an energy, a belief and a thought that will create the world that we collectively want, not a world that has been programmed by a small number of people and then programmed us with their belief. I trust you more than any government. I trust you more than any corporation, because all of us really want the same thing. Peace, love, harmony, joy. And if we all broadcast that thought, the universe will express it and we will return to the garden. So I really want to thank you, because when you understand this, you'll start to recognize we don't have to be victims. We just need to change our thoughts. Thank you.